Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, distinguished guests, and our esteemed viewers. It is such a pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to another inspiring edition of our weekly online conversation where we discuss issues that shape our lives, careers, businesses, relationships, and emotional well being. Whichever part of the world you are joining us from today, we say thank you for making the time to be with us. And if this is your first time, we welcome you specially. And if you have been following our conversation consistently, we thank you for being part of this growing community of learners and encouragers. I remain Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for the Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are usually subject matter experts on the topic that we are handling for the day. Once again, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining, as well as to encourage you to do one simple thing, which is before we continue, please click and share the click the share button. Someone in your network may desperately need this conversation that we are going to have this evening. You'll be doing them a favor by doing that. So you are welcome. To the topic of the day. Our topic for today is both simple as well as profound. And the topic is the cost of being the strong one. Think about that for a moment. Almost every family has one, that is a strong one. Every workplace has one. Many churches have one. Many businesses survive because of such ones. The person everyone depends on, the person everyone calls during emergency. That's the person who say the go-to person. The person who keeps giving, keeps fixing things up, keeps sacrificing, keeps smiling, keeps encouraging others. But very few people ever stop to ask, who is checking on the strong one? And that's why we are taking this topic today. Many people have become experts at carrying everyone else's burden while silently carrying their own. They have become known for their resilience but have forgotten what rest feels like. They have become dependable but rarely feel supported. They have become available to everyone but unavailable to themselves. Strength is beautiful, responsibility is admirable, sacrifice has its place. But when strength becomes an identity, you can never step away from, when everyone expects you never to be tired, never to cry, never to ask for help, never to say, I can't, the cost can become incredibly high. This evening, we're going to explore those hidden costs. We'll discuss why strong people often suffer in silence. We'll examine why asking for help is not weakness. We'll talk about healthy boundaries and why you need to set them. We'll also discuss emotional resilience, and we will discover practical ways to remain strong without losing ourselves. If you ever felt like the person everyone depends on, if you have ever smiled publicly while struggling privately, or you have ever said, I am fine, when you were anything but fine, then today's conversation is for you. We already have our guests in the house waiting patiently for us to beckon on her. Please don't go away. We'll be right back after this short time out. Thank you.
I wanted to give up. I'm done with all the things I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough, but something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. One day things will go my way.
Okay. I hope you can hear me. Our esteemed audience, as you know, every meaningful conversation deserves a thoughtful guide. And that is why we have the right person in the house to guide us through this important topic. Our guest today is someone whose work has inspired many people to live healthier, more balanced, emotional, live fulfilling lives. Our guest has spent years helping individuals understand themselves better, navigate life's pressure, and build healthier relationships with others and with themselves. You are welcome to meet our special guest for today's show, who is no other person than Adebusola Akinsho, MSCM, MSc IPM, SHRM, SCP. She is a seasoned human resources executive, certified mediator, and strategic people leader with over 15 years of experience across healthcare, manufacturing, consulting, FMCG, and banking. She is passionate about helping organizations build high performing workplaces by aligning people strategies with business objectives, enhancing workforce productivity, and driving sustainable organizational growth. As the Human Resources Lead at the Center for Population Health Initiative (CPHI), Adebusola leads enterprise HR strategy, overseeing workforce planning, organizational development, performance management, employee relations, HR technology, and change management for multi-location healthcare organization. She holds a bachelor degree in accounting, a master degree in conflict management from the University of Lagos, and she is a full member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management (MCIPM), as well as SHRM Senior Certified Professional. Adebusola is a sought-after speaker on strategic HR, workplace productivity, organizational culture, leadership, and conflict resolution. We are delighted and honored to have you with us today, Busola. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. You are most welcome to Connect with Comfort show. Thank you very much. Please join
Thank you.
me in making welcome our guests for today.
All
You are
right.
welcome,
Thank you.
Busola.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here with each and every one of us as we'll be having these conversations together today. I'm delighted to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you. So let's begin with the title itself, the cost of being the strong one. When you hear this phrase, what immediately comes to your mind?
Okay. Thank you very much, Doctor. And to everybody watching online, a big thank you for joining us this evening once again. All right. Now, you know, looking at this topic and what it means to each and every one of us, carries a lot of weight. Okay, it's saying the cost of being the strong one. And, being a strong one simply means someone that is always there for people. Okay, and just like doctor said, you find this category of people in almost everywhere, in the family, in the workplace, in social gatherings, in the midst of your friends too as well. You find out that there's someone that, people find it easy to relate with, people find it easy to quickly connect with, people find easy to share their burdens with. And I know there are some of us, even on the call, that you are such a person too as well. Your arms are wide open, people get to you easily in terms of a reach out for help, for support. You are dependable. That is that strong one. And the cost of being that strong person is what we want to explore, with Doctor today together. What does it mean? And what impact does this actually make on you as a person, and to also that person that is a strong one within your network that may not even be aware of some of these issues we look at, to help such person become a better, strong person. All right. So we are not here to actually downplay the impact of being a strong person. we are here to expound more on how a strong person can actually be well balanced and be okay. So that's a strong person.
Thank you very much. Wonderful response. Many people proudly describe themselves as the strong one. Is being strong always healthy, or can it sometimes become an unhealthy role people feel trapped in?
Okay, well, thank you for that, Doctor. Being a strong person, well, it's good to take pride in being noted as being strong. There's nothing really wrong in being that strong person. That strong person is who we have just defined now. That is someone that almost have answers for everybody. Okay, it's a desirable place to be. All right, but what we want to speak to is being able to be strong and vulnerable. Okay, being able to be strong and know the boundaries, being able to be strong and understand where the limits are, and understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, and where to say, okay, it's time to take a pause. So being strong, yes, is good, all right, but not understanding boundaries, not knowing when to say, okay, yeah, it's okay or it's enough now, may become really unhealthy. All right. So it's a journey into knowing how to manage being strong. So yes, it can be unhealthy at a certain point when some things are not taken into cognizance.
Fantastic. I think that's such an important distinction you've really given us there. Being emotionally strong is different from feeling emotionally obligated to everyone else. So we have to know when to say no or when we've had enough.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, why do strong people often struggle to admit they are tired? Why is it asking for help so difficult for them?
Okay. If we want to look at that critically, would almost say a lot of factors are responsible for that. Number one, for those of us from the African, continent or clan, all right, especially from Nigeria too as well, it is almost culturally expected that, all right, the strong person should always remain strong. Okay, if you look at families, expectations are placed on the father. All right. If you look at workplaces, expectations are placed on the business owners. If you look at maybe our religious organizations and all of that, expectations are placed on leaders. So number one, we even have cultural, biases or limitations that sets almost that sets the standard of how that strong one should behave. So sometimes the strong one is that strong person is almost tied to that bias, stating that because this is my role, I just need to be there. A strong person is not meant to cry. That's where you hear statements like that. All right, strong person, you are the man of the house. You are the one responsible for this and that. You are not meant to. We don't want to see you crying. We don't want to see you buckle up. We don't want to, see you giving. And so cultural expectations are there. You know, uh, Apart from cultural, society also places that pressure on people, especially for business owners. You don't want to be seen as a business that has crumbled or as a business owner that can't own their ground. So sometimes it places a strong person, that strong one, in a very tight position of never to admit how they truly, truly feel on the inside because there's an expectation. This is how you should behave. This is how you must be. This is what is expected of you. So, in the light of some of these factors or all of these factors, a strong person almost finds it difficult to really express things the way they are. All right. They find it difficult to really, if we can use the word, call a spade when it comes to themselves. So no one ever wants to admit I failed in this project. No one never wants to admit that, okay, I can't go on or this business idea has failed. Why? Because you have to keep up a stand, you have to keep up a face, just to make sure that you are societally correct or culturally correct as well. So that is why a lot of people find it difficult to admit to the true feelings going on the inside. We have lots of expectations out there.
Fantastic. Like you have said, that society sometimes faults people for suppressing their emotion, because if that is the expectation, that you just have to remain strong. So when you have that emotion, you have to suppress it so that you don't seem to be
Weak.
weak or showing the other side. And this suppression of emotion has its own bad side, because you hear people, be strong, don't cry, you'll be fine, when even obviously what is facing you is not going to make you feel fine. Others will say, oh, others have seen worse things than what you're experiencing. So all that. Now, how do these messages affect people's emotion well-being over time? Because if you continue to suppress your emotion every now and then because you want to meet up with the Joneses or the expectation of the Joneses, how does it affect your own emotional well-being over time?
All right. So thank you very much. So this leads us to, what we call the emotional suppression. All right, where you are not able to really, where something is happening on the inside, but it's suppressed. All right.
Yeah.
So when people say don't cry, when people say don't acknowledge what is going on, don't cry, be strong, others have it, worse than you, and all of that, and you hear such statements like that. Okay, if you are not careful, those kind of statements is actually leading towards what we call the suppression state. Okay, where your emotions, where your true feelings are being suppressed. All right. We are not saying, what we are trying to say here is that there is need to acknowledge those feelings. All right. Recognize that those feelings are there, but never suppress them. So statements like that, don't cry, be strong, you are a man, you are the one we are all looking up to. Yoruba people will say sharagiri, and all of that, be strong and all of that. And you find out that that person is suppressing these emotions. And
Mm,
in my years of experience of working with people, managing conflict, dealing with issues in the workplace, we find out that most of the times emotionally suppressed person, express or exhibit, a level of stress when it comes to a time. You find out that such person become reactive. All right. Instead of responding to issues, you become reactive. All right. Suppressing such emotions could lead people to irritability too, as well. You just become irritable. So sometimes when you find yourself in that state, why am I irritable? Why are little things getting to me? Why am I even not sleeping well? Sometimes is a pointer to the fact that an emotion is being suppressed. So we are saying here that acknowledge those emotions, all right, because they are actually there and they are real. So that it doesn't lead to what we call burnout, and then being overly stressed. So take those statements, don't cry, be strong. It might be some have it worse than this. Take those statements, but acknowledge the feelings, but never suppress, those emotions.
that is such an important point, because not everyone who is breaking down looks broken.
Yeah.
So some people continue functioning while silently falling apart inside. So
Yes,
we
ma'am.
have to, like you said to me, you just told us that these are some of the signs that, like irritability, is some of the signs that you are suppressing emotions. You are indirectly saying you are living a lie, because you are not really living true to yourself, to what you feel right inside. You
Yes,
want
yes.
to behave in a stereotype or expectation of some people while lying to yourself.
Hmm.
So those are the signs. When you start getting people getting irrational, being irritated with little things that you want, what happened, what have I said that make this person to react this way? Maybe those are the warning signs that
Yeah.
we need to watch out for. So, like I said, it's not only those who break down are broken. Some are just suffering in silence. Like fella will say, suffering and smiling. So we have to be careful and watch out for those signs. So, is there a difference between resilience and emotional suppression? Many people confuse the two. So, how would you explain the difference?
Okay, so when we thank you so much for highlighting those two statements out distinctively. All right, being emotionally resilient simply speaks to the ability to acknowledge vulnerability. Okay, you are resilient means that you are emotionally resilient means that you are open to acknowledge vulnerability, all right, and you are open to deal with the issues, all right, and you are dealing with the issues, and you are staying true to what you are feeling on the inside and working on the issues, all right, not allowing the issues to actually overcome you or take a full hold on how you are doing. All right, that's being resilient. That is acknowledging the feeling you have and then working towards it. But suppressing it, which is emotional suppression, is a state where you don't even acknowledge that something is going on. And just like you said, doctor, that's a state of denial. All right, somebody is looking at you and they say that, guy, you need to rest. You need to take a break. All right. But you are not admitting to that. All right. You are suppressing even when people are saying it, and even when your body as well is saying it. And apart from your body, sometimes it's the bank account. Even your bank account is saying it. Because sometimes bring the strong one means you are the one standing in the financial
Yes.
gap for a lot of people. Okay, apart from being there emotionally for people, you are there financially too for people. But there needs to come to a point where you have to take care of yourself
Solo.
first.
Yeah.
Yes, even the good book says love your neighbor as
As
yourself.
yourself.
All right.
How
Yes,
much
it
are
starts
yourself?
first with yourself. I
Yes.
come first. All right. And there's a state where you have to get to in life whereby you have to choose me. Okay, you choose yourself first. You choose
Mm-hmm.
yourself first. All
Yes.
right, and so that explains I am resilient because I acknowledge my feelings and I'm dealing with it, compared to I am suppressing it, and you are working in overdrive. So I believe I think I've been able to shed a little light on that
Definitely,
difference.
definitely, you have. Thank you for that. So let's talk about responsibility. Many firstborn children, parents, business owners, pastors, healthcare workers, caregivers, and organizational leaders often feel they cannot afford to be weak. What impact does carrying constant responsibility over many years have on this group of people?
All right. So I like to even speak to those people in this category, those strong one. If you are watching at this moment, I need you to know and realize that you can't do it all alone. All right. You can't do it all alone. You can't do it all alone. All right. Statistics has shown that people that live lonely lives, or because the position of leadership in the long run tilts one, if you are not careful, could tilt a strong one to a state of being all alone. All right, because you feel um at a point you can just be isolated based on the responsibilities you are carrying, and you feel nobody would even understand how you do things, and so you are trapped in that cycle of trying to do things all by yourself, because sometimes through the strong one feels nobody can do it better than me. All right, if I don't do it, if I'm not there, things cannot happen. If I don't attend that meeting, if I'm not in that space, things cannot happen. All right, so those responsibilities, in one way or the other, suppresses the true sense of who you are if you are not careful. All right. And so there's a need to constantly remind yourself that there is need for delegation. All right. There is need to understand when to actually say no. There's need for when to call for support and when to call for others to join in. Because sometimes when you are running this journey alone, you even deprive others of growth. Okay, you deprive others of growth. In my currently in my space, I work with health caregivers, or I work with doctors, work with nurses that care for other people. And you find out that because of the burden of having to care for people, there's sometimes never a time to take a break. Why? Because you feel somebody needs me. Somebody is about to die. Somebody will die soon. Somebody needs that drug. Somebody needs that care. And so you find out that these professionals are working overtime. One of the things we created, in our workspace is to have what we call the employee assistance program, where we have care for the caregivers. We have someone that will take care of those caregivers to themselves. So we have mental health programs that will take care of caregivers. So also for business owners or even for firstborns, I think we should also have mental health training for firstborns. Yes, I think we
Who
need to
who feels they
expand.
have to carry the load of the family, all their siblings,
Yes, yes,
and
and so
it's
because of
telling on
that,
them.
yes, and if I can make reference to some of our people from the Eastern tribe, there's a lot
Mhm.
of pressure on those particular firstborns. You are expected to
Yes.
attend village meetings. You are the one to
Mm,
make sure money is gathered for everybody. A lot of
mm.
pressure on them. So there are ways to actually, and there are systems too, that we hope, in the nearest future can be adopted into, these different sectors that can help manage the caregivers or manage the firstborns, manage the business owners. And I think for business executives now, there are programs for executives, mental health, programs for executive, for business leaders that we need to take advantage of so that you don't break down.
Fantastic. You really said it all because when you start feeling that it's your responsibility all the time, and this speaks to the next
Yeah.
question I'm to ask, that being constantly available for everyone eventually creates resentment. But there must be a time you need to say no. And some people, they feel guilty of having to say no. So where does this sense of guilt come from? So with that, we must find a way, or how learn how to care for ourselves while still caring for others, and not be seen to be selfish.
Yeah.
So how do you address such people that say, oh, in case if I just decline or if I say no, they're likely to see me as being selfish.
Mm. All right. So there's what we call kindness and clarity. All right. Kindness is that state of our heart where we always want to be there for people. We always want to provide support. But clarity also is needed. Clarity is first needed, one, to the strong person, and also to the people, to the recipients of of those good things you do. All right. So there's a way we need to mix up kindness and clarity. I'm kind, but then I'm clear. All right. I make my intentions clear. I make my no clear. All right. There's a way you can say no to a thing and you say it in a kind way. All right. So that there is clarity for that. Let me quickly give an example. That's a story that someone shared. All right, this is a story of a mother, because also on the family side we have mothers that go the extra mile, mothers that are always there constantly. All right, so this particular mom is always there for, I mean, she takes responsibility for almost everything. She does the check-in. Now the children are abroad, they are not within our vicinity, but she does the check-in regularly. She does the calling. She does the food sending, supplying, all of that and all that for events, family events and occasions and all of that. She's seen all over the place trying to organize meetups, trying to organize the parties and all of that, always not sitting down. I mean, to a point that she had no much time, for herself, always, on the go for her children as well. So one of this particular Easter, she had planned it even without the consent, just like she does. All right, without the consent of the children, she had planned the party, planned everybody is coming home for Easter, everybody must come home for Easter and all of that. And then she reached out to one of the children to ask that, oh, okay, this Easter, this is what we are going to do. When you are coming, bring something, bring and all of that. And the son kindly told her that, Mom, this period, this particular Easter, we are not coming. This has never really happened before. All right. And so that actually threw her back. It was recorded she went into a state of depression because someone actually said no to her. Now, this is not her saying no to someone. This is someone actually telling her no. We don't want
When
to come.
welcome it and take a rest.
Yes, we want to even rest from your too much doing.
Uh,
That we are not coming. And she went into a depression. She went into a depressed state. And so it took counseling to get her out, to let her realize that, see, these guys have their life now. You need to live your own life now.
yeah.
All right. So at some point in time, if you don't learn to say no, after a while, people self will tell you no, go and sit down. Yes, after a while, people will tell you, there's a statement that also says that seldom go to your neighbor's house. After a while, you become irritable. All right. So when you are
Embarrassing.
sometimes, yes, sin always to be there too as well. You need to give a break. And there's a way to tell people no, with clarity. So it's a mixture of what we call kindness and clarity. You just let them know this is what I can do for now. And don't feel guilty about saying no. Never feel guilty about setting your boundaries and then saying no with kindness. All right. Because there's no and there's no. There's no and there's no. Don't come again. Although I'm not doing it again. All right. So there's no with
Kindness.
kindness.
I really appreciate that perspective because boundaries are not walls. Healthy
Yeah.
boundaries actually preserve relationship because if you don't set it, then other things will set in. Now, we have a contribution from Dr. Asseyi, which more or less corroborated what you have said about strong person creates that sense of entitlement in others because you are always there giving and doing and doing. They ask, you don't know how to say no, they will still keep coming. And in our climb, unfortunately, even though you are doing all this with kindness, they take advantage. Oh,
Yeah.
she will always give or he will always give. They keep coming. They keep coming. They will not even think like this other example you have given that, okay, let's even say no for a change and let her rest. No, they will keep
Yeah.
coming. They will keep asking. So you need to really set that boundary, which, like I said, it can be seen as healthy boundary because
Yeah.
if you don't do that, you'll be undoing yourself too. So
Yes.
thank you very much, Dr. Asen, for that beautiful contribution. Now we are going to move away from awareness. We have created enough awareness around this topic to action. Recognizing the problem is important, but learning how to care for ourselves while still caring for others is where lasting change begins. Many people don't realize that they are emotionally exhausted until they reach a breaking point. What are some early warning signs of emotional burnout that we should never ignore?
All right. Thank you very much for that, and for allowing us to share more perspective or more light, on some of those signs. Because in my experience with working with people in the workplaces, in managing conflict, in even in families too, and in all relationships, we've seen some of these vices come up. And so when you begin to feel just tired, all right, that is you, the strong person. All right, you just begin, you are fatigued, any little thing you want to do, you get tired. All right, those can just be a sign to say pause and rest. All right, and just like we said earlier on, irritability too, you are just irritated. All right. You just find out that the things that you do normally just get to you. All right. There's another aspect, there's another thing to note, and this is emotional numbness, when you don't even now feel anything at all. All right. It gets to a point whereby you just, there's no, you can't feel some emotions anymore. All right. So for example, you are usually excited when you hear some news or when some things get to your table. But at this point in time, you are not even exhausted, you are not excited.
Excited.
Nothing is causing you any form of joy on the inside. That's a pointer to say that something is going on. All right. Then in the workplace, especially when productivity begins to drop, all right, when you see that, okay, your boss, or your boss is always calling your attention to a mistake that normally you don't normally make. All right, that's a pointer to say that something is going on somewhere. Yes, and you need to give attention to it. There's what we call pause in life. Take a pause, all right, and do a reassessment.
Like
So some of
like
the
a
few
like a
signs.
wake up call.
Yes, those are pointers to say something is wrong somewhere. You feel tired easily, and sometimes people also have insomnia, meaning you can't sleep.
Mhm.
All right, you find it difficult to sleep, and also some of the ways that this thing happen is that you find out that your brain is in overdrive at the
Yeah,
point of sleeping. You want to sleep, but your mind is working.
it's
Your mind
working.
is thinking. Yes, your mind is thinking and all of that. Please, that is a signal to say that you need to pause and rest. All right. When you want to sleep and things are just running through your mind and all of that. And then when we come to the health issues too, you begin to have frequent, headache. All right. And that's a pointer to, go and check your blood pressure. Something is going on somewhere. So before there's any form of fatality health wise, there are little
You have
signs
to
that
sign.
tell us what is going on. So I would recommend that, knowing yourself as a strong person, see, there's a need for a heightened level of health check.
Yeah,
All right, because you need your heart checked, you need your mind checked, you need your mental health, and everything checked regularly. All right, so these are some of the signs to show that there's a burnout happening somewhere. Something needs to be checked.
fantastic. That's really very true, and I'm sure people can resonate. That resonates with many people really. Now, some people wear busyness like a badge of honor. They are here and there doing one thing or the other. They are always working, solving problems, attending to others, and constantly available, as we have said. Can business sometimes become a way of avoiding our own emotional needs? Perhaps we are like Yoruba will say, "Fiparonure," like you are just using it as a cover up.
Yes, yes. And it's a big issue in mental health. All right. When some people find their way of escape using activity.
Mhm.
In fact, what you are doing is that's a form of, emotional suppression too. All right. Because you
Yes.
are not confronting the issues that are happening. You are using activity to cover up.
Mhm.
And just like we treated last week on the show last week, it was busy but not growing. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Person is swallowed up in the midst of so much activities,
Mhm.
trying to just keep because in fact it should be checked. When someone is too busy, please, they need to check what that person is running away from.
Mhm.
What's gone are you running away from?
Abi.
What is happening? Yes, because some people find pleasure in, you are here today, you are in that event tomorrow, you are seen everywhere. And I like to also say that if you are everywhere, that you need to rest and pause. You need to be checked. All right. You can't be the same person jumping up and down Monday to Sunday. All right. There's need to rest, because that is also a pointer that you are suppressing something. Something is going on. You are avoiding issues. So why being busy? You need to know that I'm busy and it's productive. All right. I'm not in a charade of activities, but I'm being productive. So yes, busyness can be used as a tool to avoid, you know, um, emotional issues that are there. So it's really really unhealthy. It's not healthy.
Thank you very much. That reminds us that because you said you need to also seek help. That reminds us that strength doesn't just grow in isolation. Even the strongest tree flourish because of deep roots and support from the environment around them. We sometimes need to get help from people.
Yes.
Like you said in one of your response, that you must learn to delegate. Don't don't see yourself as a superhuman that want to do everything alone and things like that, so that you don't fall into this kind of category that we just mentioned. So let's talk about boundaries again from another angle. How can someone lovingly say no without damaging important relationship? Could you share one or two practical examples around that?
Okay. I think there are a lot of examples.
For
to
time,
even
we'll just do short ones.
Okay, to even learn to say, to learn to say no. Yes, so
Lovingly,
there's sometimes,
no.
yes, there are sometimes, you get overwhelmed, especially in the workplace, you get overwhelmed with work, and then you find out your supervisor or your superiors are bringing more tasks to your table. All right, one of the ways to kindly, calmly, be safe, all right, is to be clear on your deliverables, one, and to let them know that, okay, I have one, two, three items to settle for today. Can this task be delivered tomorrow instead of today? All right. So there's a way to, we call it reframing.
Politely.
Yes,
Mhm.
you reframe, the statement to make sure that, the person understands where you are, and to say that, can this be delivered tomorrow instead of now?
Yes.
I need it now. Can it be 2 hours time? Can it be, you need to learn how to schedule. Then the
Mhm.
truth be told is that not everybody would always like your no. All right. And we need to come to terms with that. But like we shared earlier on, there's what we called kindness and clarity. As we are making an attempt to tell people no, find a way to express that in a kind way. All right. And some people don't even understand the kindness anyway. So you just say, no, I can't do this now. I can't support. I don't have much on me today. Can I do it? Can I
Mhm.
give you next month?
Another time, yeah.
Yes, can I give you next month? You have to learn to set that
I, I
boundary.
think I think that works. We have a contribution from Bayo Banjo. It goes thus. Many people who are perceived as the strong one often feel they have no safe space to express vulnerability. How can they break this cycle without feeling they are letting others down?
All right. Fantastic question, Mr. Banjo. So, number one, you talked about having no safe space to express vulnerability. I think one of the things every strong one needs to know is you need a safe space actually, and that's what we call having a trusted cycle, having a place where you can actually be vulnerable. Now, place in this regard can actually mean people. You have people you can be vulnerable with. All right. And that is why it is encouraged that you need a trusted cycle around you. All right. If it's a cycle of business leaders, people that are of like mind, that can understand where you are. All right. So, for example, like what we are talking about, like Firstborns Association, for example. All right. If there's anything like Firstborn Association, let's
Yeah.
form Firstborn Association. All right, where people can actually, people they are in the same state. They understand the feelings. They understand the pressure that comes with that job or with that position. So you need to create that cycle, trusted cycle of genuine people that won't criticize you for being weak at that point in time, because they also sometimes are there. All right. So you need that safe space, all right, to
Mm.
express vulnerability and to really, really be yourself. So, number one is to have that safe space, people, all right. It could be sometimes even psychologists too as well. Have someone you can be accountable to,
Mm.
all right,
You can talk you can talk
yes.
to that you trust, that you can share your deep feeling with.
Yes, and
So
this kind of people are not judgmental. This kind
yes,
of people can be trusted even with your failure stories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are the people you need to carefully choose, that
Yeah.
can be your safe space. And so with those people, you can be yourself and not be afraid of letting them down. All right.
Thank you very much. I believe that would have satisfied this question. Technology has made us reachable almost every hour of the day, if not every second, because even meetings go as late as 12 midnight. Now, emails, WhatsApp, phone calls, social media, they just abound. How important is it to intentionally disconnect and create moments of genuine rest?
Yes. All right. So it's just the word you use, intentionality, right?
Mm,
The pressure of having to be present everywhere is strong on everybody, almost everybody. You pick up your phone, you see notifications here and there and all of that. There is a need to switch off. All right, at some certain point in time, there's a need to take that pressure off you, even with the devices. All right, some of the boundaries that can be set, for example, in the workplace, is to declare my time at work is 9 to 5. All right, after 5 o'clock, I have my time off for myself. So those are practical ways of setting the boundaries. All right, work is Monday to Friday. I'm just giving an example. Work
yeah.
is Monday to Friday. My Saturdays and Sundays are for rest and for family. All right. So we need to be intentional about your time. Okay. Once it's 10 o'clock, I'm switch off all devices. All right. Phones, laptop, everything is on shutdown so that your brain can rest. There's no other good we can do to your body than sleep. All right. Than rest. All right. And I think it's a beautiful gift from God. Sleep, eh? Ah, sleep is good though. All right.
And
After
it's a
10
rare
o'clock,
commodity for some people.
so prioritize sleep, prioritize rest. And when you are doing that, you need to shut down all the devices. It is only healthy, for us. So technology has its place, yes, for productivity, but also for your mental health and emotional well-being, you need to shut down at some certain point in time.
Thank you very much. I think we'll just go to our last question because of time to have time to to wrap up. For someone watching tonight who feels emotionally exhausted but doesn't know where to begin, what would be the very first practical step you would recommend for such person?
Okay. Number one, you feel emotionally exhausted. All right. I think one of the things I will first say is shut down, is shut down.
Walk
Seek
away
help.
from everything.
Yes, just shut down, seek help. I remember a time I was so overwhelmed, I was juggling a lot of balls, and I found out that I was also pregnant, and all of that. There were expectations at work, expectations everywhere. And I needed to face my life. I had to resign temporarily. All right, to get myself together, all right, and then to refocus. So in that state, all right, I would recommend shut down, just take a break. And in that period of break of shutting down, talk to people, seek help, talk to people, healthy people, people that are not jealous of where you are or where you are going to. All right, seek healthy friendships. All right, just shut down and ease off. All right, that's the best way. And sleep.
Uh, uh, yeah, sleep is good. In fact, the best tonic. Thank you very much. What an incredible, enriching conversation this has been. This evening, we've discovered something many people rarely hear. Being strong is admirable, but pretending never to struggle is exhausting. We've learned that asking for help is not weakness,
Yeah.
setting boundaries is not selfish, rest is not laziness. In fact, it's recommended rest. Vulnerability is not failure, and caring for yourself does not mean you care less for others. Perhaps the strongest people are not those who never cry, so it is
Mm.
okay to cry if you need to. Perhaps they are the people who have the courage to admit when they need support. So if this evening's discussion has reminded you of one person that they don't have to carry every burden alone, then this conversation has truly been worthwhile. Before we conclude, I know our guest, because of time, has quite a lot for us. I will just ask you, if just in 30 seconds, what would you want, if you want to leave a sentence, someone watching us this evening, to remember only one sentence from the entire conversation, just for 30 seconds, what would you want that sentence to be?
All right. That will be I'll mix it together. That will be prioritize rest. All right. And learn to say no with clarity.
Hmm.
Prioritize rest and learn to say no with clarity.
Fantastic. I think that's a beautiful thought to end the show with. I want to thank all of you that have been part of today's conversation. If this discussion, like we have said, has encouraged you, don't let it end here. Continue the conversation with your family, talk with your friends, check on someone who is always checking on everyone else. Reach out to person who is constantly giving but rarely receiving. Sometimes the strongest people are simply waiting for someone to ask, how are you doing? And when someone asks you that question, have the courage to answer honestly. For me, it does a lot to me when somebody just send me a chat, oh, I'm just checking on you. It gives a feeling that, oh, fantastic, that somebody can just think of me and want to know genuinely how I'm feeling. I have another contribution. Let me just quickly take it from Dr. Aseni. Strong people must appreciate that they are not indispensable. That is true. If they drop dead, God forbid, the world will go on. That is also a fact. Step back and reappraise your support strategy and life. Don't do good at the expense of your own self. That is very important and is in line with what our guest said. Thank you very much for that beautiful contribution, Dr. Aseni. While we were on this show, I also like our guests to know maybe some people are your friends, those who joined us that have been able to pick their name. There is Azan. The name is long compound with email name. Azan, that's what I can pick from the name 304. Then there's Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, one of our regulars. Temi from Canada. Treasure Femi Akeosho from Ibadan. I'm sure you know that you have the same name. As Dr. Aseyin, who has been contributing, one of the regulars and contributes very well. We have Shileola Busola from Ibadan as well. Uh, Joanna Chukwumerije, Bayo Banjo. Those are the names I've been able to quickly pick down. We appreciate all of you joining, and we hope you have learned one or two things from this session. Please, if you have, share with others. That's what we always advocate. So as we round up tonight, I'd like to leave you with this thought. You do not have to earn the right to rest. That is, it's not something that you have to satisfy or do something to earn. Rest is your entitlement. You are entitled to rest. Your body needs it, your mind needs it, and you function better. So you do not have to pretend to be okay all the time. We are human beings. We are not superhuman. You do not have to carry everybody by yourself. Strength is not measured by how much pain you can hide. Strength is measured by the wisdom to know when to pause, the humility to receive support, and the courage to keep moving forward with hope. May you find the strength to keep going. May you find the wisdom to know when to rest. May you find people who genuinely care for you. And may you never forget that even the strongest hearts deserve kindness, compassion, and care. My special appreciation goes to our special guest tonight, Isola. On behalf of everyone watching from different parts of the world, I would like to sincerely thank you for sharing not only your knowledge but also your wisdom and compassion. Thank you for helping us see through this. True strength is not about carrying everybody's burden alone. It is about knowing when to stand, when to rest, and when to ask for help, and when to extend grace to ourselves. We deeply appreciate your time and your valuable insight. Thank you very much.
I'm so honored to have been here too as well. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. So, if you have found, to all our audience, if you found this program valuable, please like, follow, and subscribe to our platform. You'll be notified whenever we are going live. YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo, Instagram account, and Facebook at Comfort Eyitayo. Please share this replay with someone who may need encouragement today. Remember, one conversation can change a perspective, one perspective can change a decision, one decision can change a life. I look forward to seeing you at our next conversation. Thank you once again for spending this hour with us. Have a peaceful evening. Take good care of yourselves and take good care of each other. Good night and God bless you.